Welcome one and all to Last Stop Penn Station podcast featuring Cary Silkin and Ian Riccoboni. They dive deep into Cary's wealth of stories, and no subject is off limits. From the world of wrestling to his ticket agency, growing up in New Jersey, drug-fueled underground days, hustling in the French Quarter of New Orleans, and endless days and nights in New York City, every story is worth telling.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Last Stop Penn Station. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! Cary's raising the roof over here. Got to put it back up after Santa climbed on it.
That's right. Now, happy holidays, everybody. And thank you for joining us. The Last Stop Penn Station podcast, thanks to Ian and thanks to our producer, AJ, has helped get me through this year. Mm-hmm. You know, this has been not just for me; it's been a rough year for everybody. And but this is certainly one of the highlights of my week, and I'm very grateful for AJ and Ian for making this come to life, making these characters come to life, these stories come to life. And I got you a present.
Got me what?
A beautiful cheese basket. No, I have a Christmas present.
You didn't have to.
I know. And here's the thing. I bought this a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And I have so many posters. And like, what do I need more posters for? But sometimes you see a poster and Ian could attest to this from being an eBay guy. See, my grandmother, on my mother's side, who I don't think we've ever talked about, I only knew one of my grandparents. Oh. And, you know, my father's mother died when he was, you know, like 5 or 6. His father was alive till maybe he was 20. My mother's father passed away before I was born. But I knew my mom's mother, Rose Betty. Anyway, Rose, they called her. And she was where I'm going with this was, she was a great lady, but she was also a great shopper. Oh. Just like you are on eBay.
Thank you.
Like, so in other words, my grandmother, if she went out, you know, she went out to Macy's. She comes back. She's got a shovel, like for the back, not a snow shovel. Like, you know, it's like my mom she'd be like, "Well, why'd you buy that?" She goes, "How could you not? It was 99 cents." You know, so she was a great bargain hunter. So she'd buy ridiculous things that she would not often, but she would never use. So this falls into the same category.
Wow.
Because it was such a bargain. So. And it's not like I'm trying to lowball Ian, but anyway, so I forget what's on it. So I'm going to look first.
All right.
Well, it's a poster from the Great Wildwood Convention Hall.
Wow.
Where our friend Gary Michael Capetta, you know his story of starting his career? Did you ever?
Yeah, he essentially pulled up and started hanging out and asked Gorilla Monsoon.
Hogs Willie Gilzenberg.
Really?
Yeah, Willie Gilzenberg, our old friend who had the orange juice and beer cartons tossed at him at the Elizabeth Armory. Former WWF de facto president. Willie was the ring announcer, and Gary Capetta was there. Somehow, and he noticed that Willie was having a hard time getting in the ring, just like he did in Elizabeth.
Right.
So Willie Gilzenberg, Gary Capetta, there's a good chance he'll hear this.
Yeah,
and
he's a very nice man.
He is a very nice man, and he's a Ring of Honor alumnus.
He is early Ring of Honor, one of the OGs. Yeah,
right. So I hope I'm telling the story right, but I believe it was Willie Gilzenberg who asked Gary Capetta, "Kid, can you come next week? Bring a jacket, and you could do the announcing." Wow. And that's how I got. So anyway, it's from Wildwood. It probably was a show that Gary Capetta was at, or maybe one of the first shows he announced. Without any further ado,
Wow.
here it is.
Ooh.
Ivan Putski and Paul Vachon, 4 famous midgets, including the fabulous Lord Littlebrook. So the other 3 midgets were just... We don't have to talk about the other 3. Lord Littlebrook, one of the midget kings, was there. And a great action match. What kind of action are they going to have? With Johnny Roz and Pete it's 3 preliminary bouts.
And we've talked about Pete Sanchez before. Pete was a star in the 60s. He lasted through Hulk Hogan.
First man Ric Flair faced at the Garden.
Amazing.
And Jack Evans, who was a perennial mid-card, lower mid-card, the great Manuel Soto, and Bill White and Hans Schroeder. And before I give this to you, let me also point out, and we referenced this last time, excuse me, about the phone number. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't say that. I thought, oh, yes, it does. Nope.
That one has an actual phone number now.
They don't even give you the area code, though.
Yeah.
So you had to be in the Wildwood area. Here, it's on the boardwalk.
Oh, geez. I know where convention. I know where this is. Yeah.
He's a lovable Pole.
And he looks, if you've never, thank you, Cary.
You're welcome.
This is amazing. Ivan Putski, who many people will be familiar with from being kind of jacked and chiseled, he looks a lot more like the mighty Igor here.
It might have been. They might have put the wrong picture.
They used to do that quite often, but no, that's definitely Putski's face. That's him, but more barrel-chested, really into the polka at that point, right? He's incredible.
If you were hanging around in the summer and you went with your family and you went to the beach, the doors opened at 7. But the first match was 8:30, so you could just sort of stand around or sit there. And this was an era where they probably didn't even have any merchandise.
Right.
And there were no autograph tables.
No.
So you just sort of hung out, got in the ambience.
Maybe had a good...
Wrestling in Wildwood.
Amazing. Do you know the first wrestling event I ever went to was near Wildwood? It wasn't in Wildwood.
Okay. Was it Atlantic City?
It was Cape May Courthouse, which is not Cape May.
Okay.
But a separate kind of smaller town. Jim Cornette was there. He was managing the Heavenly Bodies when it was Stan Lane and Tom Pritchard. And then the Lightning Kid was there. Jerry Lynn was there.
You must have been on summer vacation.
I was, yeah, in either 91 or 92. And to this day, I've asked Jim Cornette about it. I've asked Sean Waltman about it. They don't remember being there. So it's just, we have photos of it. We have memories of it. And nobody remembers it happening.
What did they draw?
It was a good turnout. Yeah, it was a good turnout. The Sandman was there when he was in his wetsuit. He faced the great Crybaby Waldo.
So this is pre-ECW.
Pre-ECW. This was some conglomeration of the Larry Sharp, Joel Goodhart. It had people from what would become ECW, what would become Joel Goodhart, and all of the local guys, plus Jim Cornette and the...
Did Crybaby Waldo... Have you ever heard of Crybaby Cannon?
He was the original, yeah.
So... Crybaby Cannon, I can't speak for Crybaby Waldo. He was a bad guy. And his gimmick was when he would be getting beaten up, he had the ability like a great thespian.
Like Vic Holbrook, right, who you'll hear about on 55
He would start crying. And the fans would laugh and boo. And did Waldo do that?
He was the good guy. He was the fan favorite. He came out in a big diaper, and he had a big novelty bottle and a big bonnet. And the Sandman was still in his wetsuit at that phase of his career. And the Sandman, I just remember him just beating him up, and there was a comeback with the big baby bottle. And that was the finish.
I never heard I wonder if Crybaby Waldo's going to come up in the 55 and 5 Parkhurst set, because that baffles me.
Yeah, we've had some layups. I do know Crybaby Waldo has recently passed away. He was also known as Big Slam Vader. And so he passed away recently. So our condolences to the Waldo family. But the 55 and 5 set, we've had some some nice ones, some recognizable ones. Vern Gagne came up on day one. Today, Argentina Rocca came up on Christmas Day here. That was a nice treat. But, Cary, I regret to inform you that it only gets tougher from here. We're 5 in, 116 to go.
Well, please don't make me look like the village idiot. But it's fun anyway.
Yeah.
And we learn about these guys.
We do. And I spent quite a bit of money trying to collect the set. I've completed it in one fell swoop, and we're learning about them because to a degree, I mean, you have these names, you have this history, you might as well figure out what you have and what you're buying, right?
Well, now you have them all, and Ian was nice enough to give me some doubles.
Oh,
And I appreciate that.
the least I can do, and we're having a lot of fun with that.
Well, we also had a lot of fun, or I had a lot of fun. You were there live. I had a lot of fun this past Friday watching Final Battle.
Yeah, what a night.
It was some just fantastic matches. That brutal Roosh Brody match,
Yeah,
Brody King. And I don't want to leave anyone out here, but Shane Taylor and Jay Briscoe, which wasn't supposed to...
wasn't originally scheduled.
Wasn't scheduled. The card's subject to change, right?
Yeah.
But, boy, Shane Taylor, I mean, all these guys, I remember seeing them come in from day one,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that was a hard-hitting, you know, intense, talk about a heavyweight battle. And then you had something like Brian Johnson,
Yeah.
the man you love to hate.
Yeah, just incredible. He is getting more popular for being more hated than I think anybody in recent Ring of Honor history.
Which is a difficult thing.
Right.
And him against Danhausen.
Right.
And Danhausen finally securing the Ring of Honor contract.
Yeah, and I hope he gets that blimp soon because I understand that was part of the rider in his contract. He'd get,
really?
He'd get a blimp, he's been saying. So
Good. He could fly.
he can fly to Baltimore from Transylvania.
Well,
right?
maybe he could stop by and pick me up
There
if
you
I ever
go.
get to go there. But yeah, Final Battle was great.
Yeah, sensational event. Rhett Titus picking up a win on Final Battle, a win on TV against Delirious. And I'm really excited to see Rhett. He's in a different spot right now than he's been before, and he's really just taking the ball and running with it.
Yeah, there's another guy. You know, he's been around. Some like he's been around forever, almost since about 2005.
Yeah.
And he's had some very high moments where he looked like he was going to break out and sort of lost traction. I remember back when he was tagged up with Kenny King.
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
All Night Express.
Right.
Yeah.
And Kenny moved on at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhett was sort of, you know, he had the rug pulled out from under him. But he's always been good. And boy, is he in good shape.
Amazing.
He must not eat anything and just exercise all day, just like you.
Oh, no. That's the thing. He eats. That's the way you do it. You eat a lot, but you eat the right stuff. And that's what I've learned over the years. All these crash diets I go on. No wonder they don't work because I look at him. He eats plenty, but it's all just the right stuff, you know?
Well, you don't get a 12-pack like
Oh,
that.
jeez. Man.
It's
You
ridiculous.
great cheese on those abs.
And this past Monday on our weekly watch party, and you referenced Rhett winning 2 in a row, and him beating Delirious
Yeah.
was sort of an upset, just like that Steelers-Browns game, Steelers-Bengals game the other night.
Oh, the Bengals played dirty, too. That was
Yeah,
some
so,
cheap hits.
but they won. But yeah, and Rhett didn't play dirty.
No.
And to beat Delirious, and they had a history.
They do. Yeah.
Had he ever beat them?
He had not in single competition.
Right. I didn't think
So
so.
that was huge. And he's only 33. And think about, you know, age is only a number, but think about when some of these other, you know, top stars hit their strides. AJ Styles, 40 plus in WWE. You think about The Undertaker still doing it, Brock Lesnar. Imagine what somebody who's built like Rhett can still do in his career. He's still, the sky's the limit.
Well, our hats off to the whole Ring of Honor crew for the Final
Absolutely.
Battle. And Rhett's on a roll. Dalton Castle defeated the evil Brian Johnson.
Yes.
Which I was happy to see Monday. And so I'm looking forward to this coming post-Christmas watch party.
Sure, and this one's going to be an exciting one. It's my favorite match of the year, the Christmas Surprise Tag Team match. So Mark Briscoe on one side, Jay Briscoe on another. And
really?
they draw names at random to see who's going to be on their teams. And in the past, we've seen some unusual names come up. So there's...
Well, I know to my memory, and they faced each other in the UK once during 05, 06.
Right.
And I believe they wrestled each other a few years ago.
For the title, for the World Championship, yeah. And
but have they ever been in opposite tag teams?
I think this is a first.
All right.
We'll have to look it up, but I do think this is a first. We're also going to see a dojo match between Eric Martin, and Eric Martin is teaming up with, it'll be Eric Martin and Ken Dixon taking on Joe Keys and Dante Caballero. And those are four guys you're going to want to keep your eye on. And they're on the tutelage of Jonathan Gresham and Will Ferrara at the Ring of Honor Dojo, and excited to see them. And they're not their ROH TV debut, but certainly as a kind of a stripped down, free of any persona, them just letting themselves be wrestlers and learning the basics first.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
And on another ROH note, I finally, thank you, Kevin Eck. I was the guest on the ROH Strong podcast. Now, I was breaking Kevin Eck's chops about when he could finally have me on, but he waited till Final Battle week.
Yeah,
and it turned out, for better or for worse, it was the longest ROH Strong podcast ever.
Wow!
Maybe because Kevin and I jived with our old school knowledge, and he has good questions. And it was fun to do it. So that's the current, when this episode comes out, if you haven't caught, you should not only subscribe to Last Stop Penn Station, but subscribe to ROH Strong Podcast, as well as Ian Riccaboni's YouTube 55 and 5.
Yeah, and that's produced by our same producer here, AJ of Basan Creative. And those have been a lot of fun. Talking about fun, Cary, I'm going to lead. I issued a challenge last week. I said, come with your top 5 Christmas songs in hand. And I had about 40. I have all these note cards. I tried to narrow it down. So I don't know the best way to do this, but I'm interested to hear what your top 5 Christmas songs of all time are. Oh, you got a list too.
I have a list. When Ian brought this up to me originally, I was like, okay, there is the 2003 Jethro Tull Christmas album, and I could just pick 5 songs like that. But I didn't, although I did pick one. So I did some research, and AJ was hanging out here when I mentioned this past weekend, and he helped stir my brain. And in honor of AJ, I have. It's hard to put an order, but my number 5 selection is Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but Claus, and I don't know if you realize this, AJ, Claus is spelled Claws.
Wow.
And he does a classic Alice Cooper voice. And it's the regular song.
Yeah.
But it's, Santa Claus is coming to town. It's funny. Most of the singers I like, Alice Cooper, Levon Helm from the band, Leonard Cohen, Ian Anderson, they're all guys that really aren't good singers, but they're able to just do that style. So that was my number 5.
All right.
Christmas song.
Yeah, I'm coming in. My number 5. Oh, geez. I have 6 on my list. I'm trying to figure out what to get rid of. All right. Tie for number 5. Wish It Was Christmas Today, which was from Saturday Night Live, but the lead singer of The Strokes, Julian Casablancas, ended up doing it.
Okay.
And that's a fun one. Also, Slade, Merry Christmas.
Slade of Come Feel the Noise fame.
Yeah. So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody having fun.
Okay, I'll have to go back.
Yeah, you might know it to hear it. They used to play it on the radio station.
I saw Slade live one time.
Really?
Yeah, at the Capitol Theater.
Oh, okay.
In Passaic, which was a real dump. John Scher owned the Capitol Theater, and probably was a bill like Black Oak, Arkansas, opening for, they threw someone else in there, but Slade was the feature act.
Yeah.
Maybe to half a house, but it didn't matter. But yeah.
Was that the Come On Feel the Noise era, or was that the later era where they had that?
No, it was the Come Feel It. What was it?
Run Away? Was that the?
No, it was the
84?
early. It had to be in the 70s.
With the fists, the knuckles, Slade question mark.
No, this is the early Slade.
Okay.
So yeah, my other one. Now I'm going to forget. Damn it. What was that Kinks one?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Give me some money. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Father Christmas.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Father Christmas. Yeah. I was thinking about that one too. I guess I'll jump in at number 4. I'm going to go with The Waitresses. I always liked New Wave and Christmas rapping by The Waitresses. For a long time, I thought it was Blondie until one day I was told it was not. I found out it was The Waitresses.
And what was the name of that one?
Christmas rapping.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like WRAP.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I think I'll miss this one this year.
Okay. My number 4 was Paul McCartney, Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, which once again it would have passed me by if AJ didn't mention that this past Sunday. But that's a nice one.
I have very warm feelings of that song because when I was very young, that was out, and I just remember going to the mall with my parents, and yeah, I have a weird, nice, warm fuzzy when I hear that one.
Some of the Christmas music. For me, it's just overplayed. Unfortunately, a lot of the traditional ones, when you're walking around the mall, if you do such a thing now.
Yeah.
But that McCartney song, it's hard not to like it.
Yeah. Well, what was your number 3 as we count down?
John Lennon. Happy Christmas, War is Over.
Yeah. Wow, this is
Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, that one's heavy for me.
Right.
That one touches a nerve that is tough to touch around the holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
But important lyrics, and that's my number 3 on the list.
Yeah, my number 3. I'm going to have to go with the one you probably predicted, and it's Merry Christmas, Baby.
No, I didn't predict that.
Oh, wow, okay. I like the Boss's version, but any version will do. The band Hanson, the 3 brothers, do a very nice version. And
is that your only Bruce on there?
It is. I actually like that one a little bit more than Santa.
I thought I purposely, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town is one that I normally would be like, but the Springsteen version is just so good.
It is.
And I said, I'm not going to put that on my list because I know Ian is.
I went with Merry Christmas, Baby. When I played in bands, Chris Freed, who is a mutual friend of ours, we played that one quite a bit. And we always had fun with it, and I have a lot of good memories of that.
Well, that brings me to my number 2. And I thought through the magic of YouTube that this was done when one of the gentlemen it was done posthumously, like they do with a lot of these acts. And it's but I was wrong. It was done completely live, and it's a wonderful under 3-minute YouTube clip of Bing Crosby and David Bowie doing The Little Drummer Boy.
Right, and Peace on Earth.
Peace on Earth.
What do you think Bing thought of David Bowie?
Well,
because those are two men from diametrically opposed worlds.
you have to see this clip. It seemed that
it's beautiful.
Either Bing Crosby was just acting polite, but he seemed to have respect for him, and Bowie's vocals are great on that, as well as Bing Crosby's vocals.
It's amazing.
So that's a beauty.
When they come in together on Every Child, that's a really nice moment. And the video, I had no idea the video existed until recently either, and it's lovely. It's really nice to watch. My number 2 is a Jackson 5 song.
Really?
Yeah, Up on the Housetop. Now you may be thinking that's not a real thrilling pick, but I challenge you to listen to it and listen for the bass. This is the funkiest bass you will ever hear in your life. The bass player. You hear the expression overplaying. Sometimes a drummer will do too many fills. Right. Or do too many. This bassist is overplaying out the wazoo, but it's amazing. There's also a kind of a dance break. There's lyrics that are changed where Michael lists what all of his brothers want for Christmas. It's very cool. It's on the Jackson 5 Christmas album. It's on Spotify. It's on the record. It's on the CD. But it's really, really cool.
I don't remember it. I'm going to have to check it out.
The bassist does not care that he is overshadowing the entire song. It's incredible.
Well, now I think I know what your number 1 pick is, but I'm going to let you do the number 1 first.
Wow. Okay. Maybe not. Stevie Wonder.
What happened to the Pogues?
Oh my goodness! I forgot. I gotta bump everybody down.
Well, let's.
Oh my god! How did I forget? I told you the other day that was my number.
We'll let you have it. We'll let you talk about the Pogues, but because I want to hear about Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, Someday at Christmas. A beautiful song. Someday at Christmas. Just a beautiful song, beautiful melody. It's about what we should be thinking about at Christmas, about thinking about others and thinking about how we can improve the world. It should have been the Pogues, though. The Pogues did a beautiful song, Fairy Tale of New York, which I told Cary days ago that was my number 1 pick. And I gave him a heads up because that was a little off kilter.
I wanted to listen to it. I listened to it a couple times the other night.
Yeah.
At first I was like, oh, this is nice maudlin. And then they start rocking.
Yeah. It's the Pogues are an Irish group, and the lead singer, I forget his name, but he's got almost no teeth, and he sings like he's always slurring drunk. It sounds like he's almost blackout drunk all the time. I believe Christy McCall is on the track, who did New England. She did a cover of Billy Bragg's New England and had a big hit with that. And it's just this amazing duet of this man and woman going back and forth. The man gets locked in the drunk tank. The woman's telling him what a failure he was, but in the end they commiserate because the bell's in New York City, and the New York City police choir is singing Galway Bay, and
that's the kind of Christmas vibe I like, as opposed to everything being rosy and perfect, and there's got to be a little bit of controversy at Christmas, because that's families.
And that's the moment in Christmas Vacation, the movie, that I love so much as I get older, is that these family get-togethers aren't all rosy. With the moment when Clark's dad pulls him aside and said, how do you think I got through it? And the light bulb goes off for Clark that you're going to have people over. It's going to be not what you expected, but it's still going to be the family gathering. I can't believe I sent you that. I was all prepared, and then I listed 7. That's not fair.
Yes, it is. It's fine. So, naturally, my number 1 selection is from Jethro Tull. There's a magazine, Prague, which is still published, and although it's a UK magazine, they cover, you ever hear the band Dream?
Yeah.
Whether it's an American, these prog acts, whether it's the old ones like Tull and Yes and Pink Floyd.
Crack the Sky.
Or right.
Yeah.
And there's bands Marillion and Porcupine Tree. And
real quick aside,
What?
Matt Taven, Dalton Castle, and I ran into the lead singer of Marillion in London.
Really?
And I flipped out, and they had no idea who Marillion was, but please go ahead.
Well, so Prog Magazine had their top 20 Christmas songs, and so did Rolling Stone had their top 10. But Rolling Stone is always anti-prog.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to see... Oh, there's another one that I left out. The great Greg Lake doing I Believe in Father Christmas. But they're not going to list someone like that in Rolling Stone. But in Prog Magazine, Tull had 4 of the top 20 slots. Not number one. Who was number one? What was that? Who did Chuck Berry? Run, Rudolph, Run?
Santa's got his reindeer. Yeah, because that's the
Right.
Yeah, that's the Chuck Berry lick. Yeah,
that was number one. But anyway, the number 2 was Jethro Tull, which was called The Christmas Song, and real quick, and there's just a few words. The thing about Jethro Tull, and I'm always talking about it, they're probably shutting the podcast off now, who's ever listening. But that's all right. It's our podcast. His words are so good. And their 4th album, Aqualung, which had such legendary songs as Aqualung, Locomotive Breath, Cross-Eyed Mary, they said it wasn't a concept album. Like the first side was the Aqualung, Cross-Eyed Mary, and other songs that were sort of just paintings of what he saw in downtown London. You know, these street people. There's a song called Mother Goose, which is just about this park where he even references someone who might have been, there's a reference, the chicken fancier came to play. Do you know what that means?
No. Jeez.
Yeah. You're looking for sex with people that might not be of age.
Oh,
yes.
That's not good. I thought it. Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was the first part, not the second part.
Right. But that was an old expression. They're looking for chicken, and he somehow he puts it in that song, and no one knew what he said. And the chicken fancier came to play.
Isn't that
with his long red beard and his sister's weird stole it from a snowman. But so the second side of the album, which had Locomotive Breath and had one of the great Tull songs, My God, which people thought was anti-religion, but it really wasn't. And it's another song on there called Wind Up, which is about his not enjoying his parents shoving him off to Catholic school. And so this is a 23-year-old Ian Anderson's Christmas song.
Wow.
So it's not, you know, I'm sure a 73-year-old Ian would probably write this different. But anyway, it's short and sweet. And it goes, once a royal David city stood a lonely cattle shed where a mother held her baby. You'd do well to remember the things he later said. So when you're stuffing yourselves at the Christmas parties, you'll laugh when I tell you to take a running jump. You're missing the point that sure does not need making. That Christmas spirit is not what you drink. So how can you laugh when your own mother's hungry? And how can you smile when the reasons for smiling are wrong? And if I've just messed up your thoughtless pleasure, remember, if you wish, this is just a Christmas song. And as the song fades out, da-na-na, you hear Ian go, "Hey Santa, pass us that bottle, will you?" And that was my number one.
Wow.
And that was a fun game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we'll post a Spotify playlist. I'll put these together on the Spotify playlist, and we'll tag it when we tweet out the episode links and things like that. A lot of good Christmas songs. Interesting that we went in different directions. A lot of yours were a little on the heavier side.
Yeah, and the older side as usual.
I was surprised there was no Frosty the Snowman. No Jimmy Durante.
The great Burl Ives, who I accused Steve Carino of looking like.
Did you know I had one of the great misunderstandings in my life? I went to San Diego for work. Somebody told me something was Burl, and I did not know that was a surfer term in Southern California.
What is that?
Burl. Burl.
Okay.
Apparently that's a term used by surfers and skaters to mean cool, radical, hip, of which I'm not. Or else I would have known the word Burl.
You're very cool.
Appreciate it.
What were we talking about on the last? I got quite a few comments about when people heard about the culture shock and the odd jobs.
Yeah.
With the Pioneer Homes story, as well as the pellets.
Yeah. Were you? I know you said you were going to look into the pellets. Anything turn up? What those might have been?
Nothing turned up.
No.
Most of the people that worked heavily with the pellets over the year are probably dead.
Oh, jeez.
So, I don't know what we got here today, Ian.
Well, this could be a short one. Maybe we'll give everybody a little bit of a break today because it is Christmas and spend some time with your families. We appreciate this year. It's been a real gift to us. We had 79 5-star reviews on iTunes, which that means at least 79 people have enjoyed and listened to our podcast to a degree where you've thought and sought out to tell the world about it. And we really appreciate that support. And I'm going to make an offer right here, Cary. There is a video I posted to my YouTube channel of me singing in a high school musical.
I watched the one of you playing basketball at 7 or 8 years old.
Right. Well, there's an entire first act of the great off-Broadway production Little Mary Sunshine.
Oh.
And I sing like an angry, horny, rogue Canadian mounted policeman.
How old were you?
I was 17.
Really?
Yeah. And I was the first time I ever went out for a musical, and I got the lead role, and I was shocked.
My only musical was in a 3rd or 4th grade production in my grammar school doing Alice in Wonderland, and I was the White Rabbit.
Wow.
No, I did not sing White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane.
Grace Slick.
But there's a song the White Rabbit sang. And that ended my career quickly.
Wow. Yeah, my career started and began all in the same weekend span. But I'm going to make an offer. If we get to 100, Cary, we'll do a watch-along of the first act where you will get to see me sing and dance in a Mountie costume. And
maybe we could do it live, right?
Yeah, we could do it live. Yeah, we could set up the technology. We could put it on Twitch or YouTube. We could do a picture-in-picture, and we can invite folks to watch along and and comment on the great production, Salisbury High School production of Little Mary Sunshine.
Well, it's nicer to end on a note like that. I had some notes here. We've been threatening the completion of the 70s/80s sex establishment tours of New York City.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I've also threatened the people with the drug tour of these bizarre places where hard drugs were being sold wide open, and some behind closed doors, but all within the Times Square. Let's put it this way: between Madison Square Garden and 50th Street on Broadway, it's just ridiculous. But and then I have these stories, these wealth of characters from Hoboken, where I spent a lot of time in the late 80s, but they're probably not. None of these are appropriate for the Christmas spectacular.
For the Christmas spectacular.
So I guess we'll have to save those for the. They'd be more appropriate for the New Year's.
Yeah, let's
for
do
the leading into New Year's Eve when
Right.
people want to get a little crazy.
Yes. Let's do that next week. Let's
Right,
talk about
we
some of the
can do
great
that.
characters and whatnot on next week's Last Stop Penn Station. Cary, it's been a lot of fun talking Christmas music. I hope you have a great Christmas, and I know that this has meant a lot to me and to AJ to help get your stories out. So we appreciate you as much as you say you appreciate us. We appreciate you even more sitting with us.
Well, we thank everybody who's subscribed. You could also honor yourself with a beautiful T-shirt through Pro Wrestling Tees, Ryan's fine company, Ryan Barkin. Right?
Yeah, Ryan Barkin, yeah.
And we have the Last Stop Penn Station T-shirt, as well as the Camel T-shirts. I've been in touch with, it's amazing. The great Baby Dumplings
Wow.
he's been faithfully listening.
Yeah.
When the Mama Pretzel episode came up, he went wild.
Yeah.
Because she was around, as I said, he was around in the 80s, she was around in the 80s, and so we'll go back to a little grittier, harder hitting stuff approaching New Year's Eve.
Oh, that sounds good. I can't wait for that. And that'll come in 2021. We've made it through a full year, and with a little sabbatical for the pandemic.
Yes.
So we figured out how to do things safely. But we're going to be full steam ahead in 2021 with Last Stop Penn Station, with Ring of Honor, with the experience, with all that fun stuff. So for AJ, for Lamb Chop, for Uncle Gunny,
And our friend Eric from Discover Pro Wrestling, who helps me out too.
Absolutely. We thank you all for listening. Merry Christmas. We missed you last week. Happy Hanukkah. And Happy New Year next week. We're coming at you with some brand new action, some hard-hitting action. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that and more coming at you in 2021. Thanks, everybody.
I thank God it stole the hammer and the train, and won't stop going, no, it could slow down.
We hail you for listening to Last Stop Penn Station podcast. Rate, review, like, subscribe, and share on your favorite platform. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or at laststoppennstation.com.